unmute or...
Is that okay?
We can hear you now, yeah.
Lovely. I absolutely agree. It was a lot to take in. There was a lot of costings there. My first observation is the 50k needed for the wellbeing initiative. And the question is, will staffing be needed for the initiative, or will the work be absorbed by the current officers? The second thing is the 15k needed for election. Now, I think Martin mentioned district council. I appreciate there's a district officer role needed there because of the resignation. Are you saying that 15k is needed to get that person elected? And the third thing is, are we able to get a copy of the presentation that you've done with all the costs? That's it.
I can answer the second question. So there's also a police commissioner election this May, which was delayed from last May. So although probably a lot less people will vote for it, all the infrastructure in terms of opening halls or whatever, and the election boxes going around, all that has to happen. So the 15k is based on that cost for a kind of normal election. Okay, it might be slightly less because there's probably less people going to be manning the election halls, but effectively nearly all the infrastructure has to be in place for the police commissioner.
And that's taken part on the same day, is it?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Thank you, Sue.
Yeah.
Thanks for your body language there. Thank you. That's great. That obviously makes perfect sense. The first question then would be useful to know. I see this as potentially a big old area of work. I was involved with when I was working. I'm a bit concerned that we do have a lot of that in place, and I am a little bit concerned about the duplication of work and the ongoing costs for this, and I wonder whether it would be sustainable in the long term. So that does concern me.
Can I say, I mean, basically the resource that we put forward is a forecast, and it's basically there to manage all of the projects that we put in the budget. So that's broadly it. So that's our best estimate. Clearly, it's a forecast budget. Yeah.
Were you able to ask anyone else that had been involved in anything like this in any other council? Because you've got to base your costs on something. Just finger in the air.
Well, it is a forecast in a budget, but we've had conversations with Nailsy, for example. So they've obviously got a number 65, and they've been doing this for a little while. So I don't know who else we've spoken to, but clearly it's an educated estimate. I think is the best way to put it. Is that fair, Polly?
Absolutely. So we've had staff and councillors working on this for quite some time, also building on the COVID effort and also learning from other towns. Because of the second lockdown, unfortunately, the visits that we wanted to other sites to learn from their experiences have had to be postponed, which is frustrating, but we have seen there are examples around the country of where good quality wellbeing services and access to those services and decent hubs like number 65 in Nailsea will have an impact on spend elsewhere, and we know that there isn't enough. We know that there is a need, and if you were sitting in the seats that we're sitting in, you'd be able to see.
Can I just stop you there one moment? I appreciate all that because I've heard your presentation. What I'm interested in is the staffing. Will that cost, what I said, taxpayers in terms of more staff, or will it be absorbed by the current officers working at Portishead Town Council?
Martin, can you, because you do the line items and where they sit within the budget, so can you...
I mean, clearly, this is a project that will come to a number of different conclusions or pathways forward, but we've looked at it in various different ways, and we've come up with much higher costings and we've come up with some lower costings, but the likely areas or possible areas of spend would be physical presence. You might have to fund a physical hub. Grant contributions to increase the level of services, or at least improve partnership services to what the community wants. And you're right, a lot of the the development work, a lot of the creating the partnership work will be done by existing staff. Sarah Jackson, possibly myself, and others will commit to doing that. If we get to a state that looks like number 65 or some of the other hub support systems like Dartmouth and other places have, then there might be a need to employ a full-time administrator or a full-time manager of that hub, in which case part of that 50,000 might be used to put that person in place or buy that service in from a provider. So it's not possible to say exactly at the moment how it will be spent, but it's being costed in a way that says it would be a mixture of trying some extra provision from service providers, possibly an administrator, a physical hub, a virtual hub, or a mixture of those things put together. But,
thank you, Martin. Will Portishead Town Council residents be consulted on that one as well, as to whether it's going to need more staff?
Yeah. What's